Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to share with you guys how I got this hair color that I have. So I did record the entire process. I'm going to walk you guys through how I actually did it and what products I used to achieve this color. But keep in mind, anytime you're watching any type of hair coloring tutorial, you might have to tweak things here and there depending on your hair history, the color of your hair. So please keep that in mind. You might need to use different products or maybe repeat the process a few times in order to get the exact color I have. But I just wanted to share with you guys what I did for my hair. I do want to mention that I am not by any means a professional. I did not go to cosmetology school. Everything that I know about hair, I just kind of taught myself. So let's just get into the actual tutorial. So before I actually get started on my hair, let me just show you the products that I'm going to be using and explain why I'm using what I'm using. The actual color that I'm going to be using is a High Lift color by the brand Ion. It's in the color High Lift Golden Blonde. Now, depending on what your hair color currently is, what your hair history is, you know, if you have color underneath, and what the end results you want are, is gonna kind of determine what you use. But for me personally, as you can see, my hair is like a medium brown, but underneath this color, my hair is bleached. I was like a really, really light blonde before I put this brown on top of it. So I know that all I have to lift through is just this one layer of color, and then underneath that, my hair basically is stripped. So I'm not going through my own natural color. I don't have layers and layers of color built up. That's why I'm using High Lift color as opposed to bleach. High Lift color is gonna lift your hair just like bleach does. It's gonna lighten your hair, but it's not gonna be as powerful as bleach. I decided to get 2 boxes because I think 1 box might be enough for all of my hair, but just to be on the safe side, I got a second one. And also that way, if I want to go back through afterwards and apply a little more and do like some extra highlights and stuff, I can do that. For my developer, I got a bottle of 20 volume and then a bottle of 30. Obviously 30 is going to be stronger and more powerful than the 20. Again, just so that way I have the extra options. I think I'm actually going to start with the 20 first, and then if it doesn't do enough and I don't get the results I want, then I can go back with the 30, which will be a little bit stronger. And then of course I have a bowl to mix everything in, and then of course a tint brush. I just think this is the best way to apply color, especially if you're going to be doing balayage. We're going to be painting the hair essentially, so you need some sort of brush to do that. And I think that's everything as far as what we need. I'm going to just start with 1 box of the High Lift color for now. So if you're going to be using High Lift color like I am, then you always want to do High Lift color as a 1:2 ratio. So however much of the High Lift color that you're mixing, you want to do twice as much developer with it, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to use an entire tube of the color, and I'm just going to squeeze that in to my bowl. So I'm just going to mix this all up until it's a nice smooth consistency. I'm just going to section my hair right down the middle, and I'm just going to create sections. So I'm going to part straight down the middle in the back like that, and then down the middle again like this. Section that off. Do the same thing on this side. Let me put my gloves on and just get started. So as I'm working on these front sections, I'm going to be creating vertical parts and just work section by section. So I'm just going along and I'm just kind of grabbing random chunks as I want to and just painting them on. And I use the end of my brush to pick up the sections. So that way I don't have to, like, obviously my hands now have like color on them, That way I can pick up the sections without getting color on sections I don't want it on, if that makes sense. And then I'm literally just going to paint it like this. And you'll notice that I'm not, especially towards the top, I'm not just like starting and then painting downwards, because that's going to create like a harsh distinct line and that's going to look awful. So as I get towards the top where I want it to gradually fade, because I do want my roots, I think, to be a little bit darker than the rest of my hair. So I'm like turning my brush vertically and then just doing like some vertical strokes, so that way it just blends more naturally. I'm done with this section, more or less. I'm just going to pick it up, flip it over, and then do the same thing on this side. So just, you know, each section that you're doing, just grab random chunks and just paint them. Alright, so now this whole big section is done for now. So let's just kind of wrap that up. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side and basically just repeat that all over my head. Alright, so now I'm just going to pull everything back. And then if you have a processing cap, which I don't have any, you can use that. Or you can just use a regular plastic bag. I'm just going to wrap that. And that's just going to help contain all of the heat. I know it looks ridiculous, but that's just going to help keep the heat in. I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes first. Once the timer goes off, I'm going to check the hair, see how it's looking. If I feel like it needs more time to process, then I'll leave it for another 15 minutes. If not, if it looks like it's good already, then I'll just rinse it out at that point. I always suggest leaving it for the minimum amount of time first and then just checking on it periodically, so that way you don't like over process your hair or whatever. So after the first application, my hair basically was more or less what I wanted, but it was a little bit darker than I would have liked. There were some areas where I don't know, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit lighter all over, especially up towards the top. So I decided to then just repeat the process a second time. Alright, so it's been a few days, almost an entire week since I first did my hair. This is how it came out. It looks a little crazy right now because I had it in a bun all day today and it, you know, needs to be washed. It's definitely a few levels lighter than it was originally, and I'm really happy with how the ends came out. But I think I want to bring this lighter color on my ends just up a little bit higher. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing the second process. So I mixed the exact same color that I used the first time, but this time I mixed it with 30 volume developer, so it's going to be a little bit stronger. And yeah, I'm gonna try to not put it on the ends too much. I'm gonna primarily focus it sort of like in the mid shaft area. And I think I'm actually going to start with the bottom section first and work my way up, because as you can see, underneath is a little bit darker than the top, which is fine, but when I clip my extensions in a little bit, there's kind of a contrast between my real hair and the extensions. So I want the bottom to lighten up a bit more. I don't need to be as particular as I was being the first time around. This time I really can just be quick and kind of like slap the color on wherever I want it to go. So I'm not going to worry about sectioning it off and all that. I'm just gonna kind of section it as I go. Obviously, like, this step is totally optional. You might not have to do this, but if the first time around your hair didn't end up lightening as much as you wanted it to, or whatever the case may be. So you can see I'm just concentrating it right here. I'm not going up towards my roots, and I'm also not going all the way down to the very end. Just focusing it really in this mid-shaft area. So then after the second process, I ended up with these results. And the hair extensions that I'm wearing are just clip-in extensions by Luxury for Princess in the shade Butterscotch Blonde. So this is how my hair looks. And I will insert a clip of my hair without the extensions so you can see how the color that I actually applied turned out. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of dimension in my hair. It's not just like one solid color all over. But I really hope that this tutorial was helpful for you guys. If it was, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It'll help YouTube know that this is a helpful video, so they'll recommend it and suggest it for more people. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already, then please hit that subscribe button so you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. If you're interested in seeing any other hair tutorials, I have tons of videos of me coloring my hair. I change my hair color a lot, so I have lots of videos. I'll put the playlist to my hair tutorials in the description so you can go check that out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. And I know so many people, I always hear them say that they want to ombre their hair, but they're scared to bleach their hair and damage it and fry their ends. So if you've been interested in ombreing your hair, then you could get these extensions and